Hey everybody. So news has hit about the Rust set armorer, the girl getting 18 months for her role in the deaths and the, you know, injury of the other. Uh, and people are like, "Oh my God, she didn't do anything." Okay, devil's advocate here. Her her own uh, her own testimony, uh, her own words, screwed herself. For starters, for starters, she kept live ammunition, blanks, and squibs in the same case. That's illegal. Big no-no, especially if you have the uh, license to be the firearms expert on a film set. You have to go through protocol. Next up, she explained that the reason why there was live ammunition in the firearms wasn't because they were shooting live rounds for filming, but because after filming for the day, she had invited friends over to the set to do target shooting and play around with the firearms because she can't do that anywhere else because they're under lock and key. So she had brought people over and they were shooting and having fun. Okay, that's another big no-no, big illegal deal there. Then she stored the firearms after everybody did their thing. She stored them still loaded with ammunition, live ammunition. So that's a big no-no, especially if you're an armorer. If you're an armorer, you cannot have ammunition stored in the firearms. You can't have ammunition stored with the firearms. The ammunition blanks have to be in a separate container away from squibs. Squibs have to be in a separate container away from live ammo. All three have to be in separate cases and marked properly. You have to be able to tell at a glance what they are. Firearms, when they're locked away, you got trigger locks on them, you have cable locks on them, you have them locked in separate cases. That's how that works. So she fucked up royally multiple times. Then, come the following day, the day of the incident, she had been drinking the night before, shooting guns the night before, put the guns away loaded the night before. The morning of, she takes the firearms out, puts them on the table, and then goes to breakfast, knowing that there's a whole set full of people getting ready to shoot a film. No pun intended. But she goes and has her breakfast, gets her coffee, and clears her head a little bit. And then bang! Baldwin shoots somebody. Baldwin's already getting called back up by a grand jury or whatever, he's indicted or whatever. Yes, Baldwin is guilty of assault with a deadly weapon and murder. But the armorer, she's guilty of manslaughter because what she did, in all aspects, led to the death of the other person. She is guilty. 18 months for basically putting a loaded gun in another person's hand and walking away. I'd be found guilty of that. If I have my firearm out, which it's right back here, if I have my firearm out right here, and a kid walks in, picks it up, and pow, shoots another kid, I'm guilty because I left it out. Well, there's no kids here, and when there are kids here, if any ever show up, all my shit goes up. All my firearms get put up on way top shelves where it's hard for me to even reach them. Door gets locked. It's done and over with. I don't keep my ammunition with the firearms. Granted, I do have firearms that are loaded for, home defense, but the ones that aren't, home defense, they're going out camping type firearms, firearms for when I'm out at my property. Those ones, they're not loaded right now. Ammunition and magazines are readily available, but the firearms aren't loaded. My pistols are all loaded. My shotgun has a single round in it. That's the boom, and then I can reload. And that's how that is. But if somebody picks up one of my firearms and shoots another person because I left it out, I'm also guilty. They're guilty of the action. I'm guilty of causing the action. I'm just as much involved as the other, but I don't go down for the full sentence. I get the manslaughter sentence, which is only a few months. That's how she did it. She initiated the whole deal. Baldwin pulled the trigger, but she gave him everything that he needed to do it. And that's why she was found guilty, and that's why she got 18 months. So stop saying that, oh, she's just an innocent person. No, she's not. It was her first time being out there by herself, and she wasn't as trained as her father was. Basically, they said, oh, her dad's an armorer, and she just got her armorer's license. She must know everything that he knows. No, she's just some punk kid who got a license because her dad had a license, and she needed a license to help him, and that's how she got through. She didn't follow any of the rules. She doesn't know any of the rules. She got the license because he got it for her. She's just as guilty. That's it. That's the facts. Sorry to burst your bubble.